Hey gang, Brad Linder coming at you with another card today. Going to be doing Wheeljack from Transformers Generation 1. Sorry, I posted a little bit ago, about 30 minutes ago, and I was going to do a 10-minute release, but then Facebook had some issues, so I had to wait until I could get on. Now I am, and going to knock this out. Going to be coloring this one, and it shouldn't take too long. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me and whatnot, and we're going to go from there. But sharing this over with the page real quick so everybody can see it. And then we're underway. And there we go. Cool deal. Okay. Now, I am going to be coloring this one, like I said, based off the Gen 1 cartoon setup. So, I'm going to act like he's talking. And I've got a generic Autobot down here that he's helping drag back, so it's going to be pretty cool. Got the standard blue eyes of the Autobots here. Color that in, and then I'm going to go with a brighter one, which I did not get out, for the talking bits of Wheeljack, which happened to light up really cool, because I always love the way when he talks, these pieces on his head light up, these wings off the side of his head light up, and I always found that really cool, because he didn't have a mouth that moved, you know. He had a face mask like Optimus, but it didn't flex when he talked. So instead of that, his face lit up. They found a unique way to do that, and I always thought that was pretty cool. So, okay, there we go with that. Now I'm going to add a little bit of red in here. There's not much, but there's just a little bit. Right off this one side here, there's a thumb right there, so I want to be careful with that. But right here, above that windshield, and behind that thumb is the red part, which I'm also going to add in right here for the windshield of his chest, which folds down and makes the bottom. There we go. Now the rest of him will be, we'll tend to lead towards reds, and I need to find a blue real quick for the Autobot here, because I want to set that apart. I'll find a red and blue here because I'm going to set this apart. Because like I said, these guys normally have, you'll see them in fight sequences. You'll see them a lot of the times. You'll see the gray and purple and black ones for the Decepticons. And you'll see these red and blue guys in general for the Autobots in the fight scenes. And I always found that cool because that cartoon was one of the first to use fillers in fight scenes, and I found that really funny. It was like they're using extras in a cartoon to populate the fight scenes, so they put in these red and blue extra guys on the long shots. They put in these extra red and blue guys. They would put in red and gray guys. They would put in blue and gray guys. They would put in the purple and black and gray guys for Decepticons. And it was funny because you just see these generic shots where these, you know, fight scenes would get close up, and the prime cast of the Autobots would come in right after. You know, you'd see these guys get blasted or something and fall off the screen to the wayside, and then you'd see the main Autobots come in and, you know, swoop in or fight or whatever. I always found that ridiculously funny. But it was cool, though, because it was something that not many people did. You know, not many companies did that. They wouldn't just come in and, you know, let these guys go. They would actually do something cool with them and use fillers and stuntmen to make extras. I always found that really cool in the marketing. But, you know, when I was a kid, I used to think it was ridiculous. But now as I got older, I was like, you know what? That they used stuntmen and extras in a cartoon. How cool is that? I mean, not many people can say that. So, not many companies did that. That's a cool little side note. But anyway, making sure I'm staying in screen here. Hi, Isaac. Glad you made it. Like I said, making sure I'm still on screen here. They used to give them gray faces and yellow and blue eyes, just like the Autobots cast, which I found that very cool. But anyway, I thought I'd throw this extra guy in here just to give it something extra for the live here. You know what I mean? Thought it would be interesting and add something different that you don't get to see every day. So there we go with that. Now I'm just using a standard C4 here. It's a medium, cool gray. And I thought it would be a nice change of pace before going back to the pencils tomorrow with White Kit and Wily Cat, which is most likely going to be the next card that I do for the set. And if you guys noticed, I got a couple of comments on the comic Kickstarter site because I said I was going to update that yesterday. I apologize for that because Namecheap, the registrar that I had that site through for a little while, caused a glitch when it went over to the new registrar, and they still had it on file, and I still had some time on there before it changed over, and they decided to tank it. So I moved it to another company, and now it's all good. But yeah, they decided upon themselves to just change and tamper with some files in my account and change some name servers and things like that, and then tried to blame everything from ICANN to me to my hosting service, which I own, and they can't. Nothing's been moved or changed. You know, the site worked. That's just one of those things. I don't like working with GoDaddy because of the fact that they're a pain, and they drop you without notice, and they tend to play around with your account and, you know, cancel it early and all this stuff. But Namecheap, you know, and they've even deleted accounts out of my GoDaddy. They've deleted domains from my GoDaddy account before and said, oops, that was our accident. Sorry, wrong account. Well, how do you mess that up? But, you know, anyway, as a marketing tip, be very cautious of that, because these knuckleheads will leave you hanging. I found that very funny, but it is what it is. But as far as the comics go, on Comic Kickstarter and the podcast and all that, it's back up and running, and I'm updating it in the morning, so it's all good. It's all good. And I'll have a new podcast out Thursday afternoon, so that'll be a nice add-on. And just wanted to give you guys a fair heads up. I want to be transparent and honest about that as to what happened, because some people did ask, and I told people, you know, the same exact thing. It was just a technical error on trusting the registrar, and I've moved since then, so I spent the day moving it off of there so we don't have that problem. And I decided, because I own my own hosting service, I've decided to move that off of there as well and move over to something else altogether. So let's see here. I want to move to a darker gray. He tends to have this dark gray pelvis and this dark gray on his hands as well, on his forearm. And I don't want to really go through and just swamp it with everything being the same color. So I'm going to try and get this one going, and then I'm going to get a darker one, and I'm going to use the lighter gray from the gun for the joints so that we don't like just wipe it out. I don't want the whole thing to be super dark. That's no fun. That's no fun. I'm going to go ahead and wipe out this hand here. Get that taken care of. And like I said, I'll switch it with a couple of different grays in here as we go along. But primarily I want to get this forearm done, and then I'll move on to that pelvic region in here and put it probably as this gray or another. Just depends on how it dries and shows up. I don't want it to look all one piece, because if you can't tell where one piece starts and another begins, then it's a problem. And that's on colorist, which is me. So I don't want to do that. Let's see how this goes. This card is fortunately very clean. I got lucky with it. I really had fun drawing this one. And it was kind of a side note set, because I just wanted to shake things up a little bit. But that came out really well. I like it. I like it a lot. So there we go. And I'm going to get these knuckles here best I can. Hopefully I don't mess it up. That'd be a bummer, wouldn't it? Okay. I kind of inked this in a hurry today too, and wanted to knock it out as much as possible here. So I'm gonna go with that one. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do that because it looks okay. All right, cool deal. And I'll go in with a lighter gray right there just to break that up a little bit. There's the bottom part right above his thigh there. There's the hip. That'll work. Cool. Now, his leg is a darker gray as well, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this other one because there's so much white in this character. I'm just going to differentiate with these multiple grays here to kind of break it up. Kind of brush that on there and try not to smear it too much. Cool deal. All right. This will be a different kind of tone here. Alrighty. Nice. I really do love you drawing these things and, you know, using these Copics and whatnot and getting to hang out with you guys for the duration of this stuff. Okay. Let me see here. I think I'm going to go a little bit darker on some segments of the face as well, just to kind of shake things up a little bit. We'll go a little darker around the face and make the head and the face mask pop. A little darker tone on the neck. I think that works. However, I did miss a spot on the thumb. You missed the thumb! There we go. Cool. He's also got green in here, which I won't mess with in this picture because it's tough to see it in the areas that it is. I have a green out just in case, but when I drew this, I didn't compensate for that and put that in the actual image, so we don't have quite the detail with the logo and all that, and it was the position of the way I put him. And I didn't mean to do that, but it kind of came out that way nonetheless. It wasn't intentional. I just drew him in a position that I thought looked cool and went with it. And then the next thing I know, it's like, man, you can't show off all the colors and stuff. So let's see if we can get that to go on and shade that in a little bit like that. Very cool. Now I'm going to go in here and get a super light gray and shake things up with one because I want to, like I said, shade this up a little bit. Okay. Bear with me a second while I grab some other stuff. I'll go with a neutral 3, and I think that's too dark. I think because of this one being being Wheeljack, I think I'm going to go with this, and it'll be okay. I'm going to go with a warm 0, which I normally wouldn't use on metal, but he kind of has that look. So this this light warm brown gray type of tone, it's got an eggshell look to it. It'll fill in just fine for this purpose. Just going to kind of tone everything in just a little bit. I'm trying not to go all Bob Foster there. Jim O'Reilly loves to do that. With his lies, he goes, just going to tap in those trees. Shout out to my buddy Jim. Jim O'Reilly. If you guys haven't seen that dude, check him out because he's awesome. He does some really spectacular stuff. Now I'm going to go in with this darker blue. Kind of shade things out a little bit. Just right up underneath there. And on one side like that. It shows kind of a shadow on the wings there. A little bit of breakup on that. Just to pull it together and give it a little more form. I like that. So that's the way we're going with it. And then right in here, I'm just going to give things a little bit of a shadow here and there. Kind of break up the monotony a little bit. Trying not to break up the whole thing. Giving a little more depth and shading here and there. Cool deal. A little bit right here. Okay, cool. That works. Now, because I couldn't add in the green, and I wanted to before, I will now add in quite a bit. So we're going to have some fun with that. Right back there. And because this is a light character, and it's not going to wash out the color if I do this, I'm going to go ahead and go right up against the grain of the line, or him right here. Boom, 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 boom. Cool deal. Kind of giving it an electrical cloudy effect. Swishing just a little bit. I normally wouldn't do this to my brush tips, but because I want that effect, just give it a little pull back and forth, not too much, and it'll give it a cloudy dry when it's finished. Okay. Because it breaks up the light with the thickness of the line, so that's how that works. Go back here and light that up a little bit. Hey, cool. You know what? That came off a lot better than I thought it would. Know what I'm gonna do? Just kind of do this cool. No, I'm not. I thought I was going to, but no, I'm not. I'm not gonna mess that up. I don't want to mess with it. I thought I was going to experiment a little bit with the green and put some gray in it, but no, I like the way that contrasts, so I'm going to leave that alone. put in a little bit of the shadow line in here, popping it out a little. There we go. Cool deal. A little bit on that barrel. And now I'll go in with this darker one. And hey, Dave, how's it going, man? I'm gonna go in with this darker one here and pop in just a little bit more on that. Kind of clean that up a little bit. Cool and deal. Alrighty. Put some shadowing on that. And down again right here. Catch the edge of that barrel. Give it a nice little highlight right there. A little shadow right there. Boom, we're done. Cool deal. All right. Hope you guys dig this. And that's where I'm going to stop right now because I don't want to mess it up. I think it's going really well here. However, I am going to put in just a little bit of a down shadow right here on this guy. Thicken him up just a little bit. And to darken down his eyes because he doesn't have energy right now. He's unconscious. So, boom. Now, all right, guys. Hope you dig it. That's it for me tonight. And I'll see you shortly for tomorrow's card. Until then, you know how it works. I will talk to you then. We inherited this little rock for a little bit and get to toy around and smile and have an adventure we call life. So make it cool for the next generation and, clean up the place after your party. Just, pick up a plate or something. So talk to you tomorrow.